Right. Welcome, everybody. This is Joe McCall. How are you doing? Listen, I just got back from the Bahamas, and man, what a trip it was. It was my wife's and mine 26th wedding anniversary. We had a blast. We went to the island of Exuma, and we stayed in a very nice all-inclusive resort for 7 nights. It's the first time we've been gone, just me and my wife, for that long without our kids. So our kids are 20, 18 boys and 15 and 12-year-old girls. And it's going to be a big year. This year, the one boy's turning 21, girls turning 16, and a girl's turning 13. So I'm excited, but I love my wife. We've been married 26 years. We spent a very luxurious week in Exuma, Bahamas. Had a blast. And the house is still here. It's a little messy, but the house is still here. The kids didn't burn it down, and we had a blast. So anyway, today on today's Deals with Joe call. By the way, if you're watching this and you're not a member of Deals with Joe, what's going on? Why? Go check out dealswithjoe.com. I'm going to be updating this program real soon here in the next couple of weeks with a lot of new information. Right now, Deals with Joe mainly focuses on houses, how to wholesale houses, but I'm going to be adding some videos in on how to wholesale vacant land as well. And it's just $7. $7 a month, and you get a bunch of really cool free things in there that are pretty awesome. And I'm going to show them to you today. But what I like to do on these weekly training calls is review deals. Some of you have deals you want me to look at. I'm looking at my Deals with Joe students right now. My camera just froze. My whole computer froze. No, I'm good. All right, let me switch my. Are we good? All right. It looked like everything froze here, but I think we're all right. Anyway, what I was saying was I want to look at your deals. And those of you that are Deals with Joe students, awesome. David just put one in here. We're going to look at some deals, and I want one of the benefits, advantages of being a Deals with Joe student is we're going to look at your deals live here, and I'm going to pull them up, show you what I think it's worth, what I would offer. And usually you guys always give me the hard ones. So if you can, be a little nice to me. Don't give me the really, really hard ones. I'm okay with hard ones. And in fact, there's a lot of lessons learned, good lessons to be learned in hard deals, because sometimes not every deal is cookie cutter easy. It's not the same as every deal is different. And so when you get different deals, well, wouldn't it be nice to know, hey, what would an expert do? I guess I'm an expert. By the way, well, let's just pull up this property. David's got a good property right here. I'm going to open up a new window. Cool. And I'm going to share my screen here. All right. You guys see my window? Cool. Um, that's not where I was. I don't know where that is. That's in Painted Cove Trail, Oregon. All right. So then let me open the chat here. This was a deal David posted here from Arizona, Maricopa County, 3.21 acres, and he gave me the GPS coordinates. I love this. So if you're sending me a deal to look at, I like GPS coordinates because it just takes me right to where the property is. And it's right next to an airport. This is interesting. Right next to a highway. Huh. Yeah, so this is a difficult property. I can tell already. Why? Let's zoom out. It's right next to a highway, which connects two interstates. Where is this in Maricopa County? A suburb of Phoenix. So this is going to be a little more challenging deal next to some river. I'm going to guess this is like an industrial road right next to a little airport with some weird water on it. Let's look at satellite next to some solar farm, maybe. So I don't know. This is one of those properties where what can you do with it? It's next to a solar farm, which probably creates its own issues. next to a highway, next to a canal, next to a residential community, maybe where you can just ride your boats in a circle, in a long circle. I guess people actually have boats here. Well, maybe they do. You know what they call that? They jet ski. They probably go back and forth like this real fast. Yeah, water to ski, Arizona. So you can go skiing in the middle of the desert. But what on earth who would buy this property here? I don't know. Let's just dig into a little bit more about it. One of my favorite websites to go to is Land ID. You go to id.land and let's search for this property by um, GPS coordinates, shall we? Hey, if you're watching this on YouTube's, do me a favor and comment down below this video and just tell me, hey, tell me that you're here, that you're watching. And if you have any questions, type in your questions because I'm going to be looking for your comments here in a second. I'll zoom into this area. So this property right here is owned by Halfway Associates, 3.21 acres in between a canal. You know, the other thing I like to do is look at, is there any Google Street View in the area? And there it is right there. Is that a solar farm? Looks like it, yeah. So what happens, you know, when the sun is a certain direction and you're right there in this highway. So I don't know if I'm not all that excited about this property. You're certainly not going to build a house there next to a highway. You can't go camping on there. Yeah, thank you, David, for giving me a hard one. Um, I just don't see much use for it. Now I may be completely off, right? Looks like these guys own this one and that one. You know what I might do? And I'm trying to see who owns this property over here. And there's no information on who owns this property. You know what I might do is maybe, no, shoot. Like I might, you can see who owns this property right here. I might contact them and see if they're interested in buying it. I might call the developer who owns this property here to see if they're interested in buying it. When did this guy buy it? Sometimes you can see the history, right? No. Sometimes you can go into, I'm going to copy the parcel ID number and I'm going to go to Land Glide. Oh, David's got a good point there. Maybe billboards. Yeah. Land Glide is cool because it gives you right here a county link. So you click that, it takes you to the county website where you can get more information on the property. And sometimes you can go and see the history and the owner information. They bought it in 1986 and they're out of Las Vegas, Nevada. The county says it's worth maybe 32,500 bucks. Doesn't tell you what they bought it for. You might be able to look it up on the deed. Um, all right. So this is what I would do, David. I would ask the seller some more questions if you can talk to them and find out, hey, what was your goal with this property? And you probably want to make an offer on both of them if you do. What's your goal with this property? Why do you want to sell it? And you need to really get from them a bottom line number of what they would sell it for. And if they're going to refuse to give you a number, I would probably just walk. I tell them, you know what, then I'm not interested. Um, you need to get, and this happens a lot with weird properties. I was just talking to my business partner who was talking to a seller, and they have this kind of a weird property. Not weird, it's just not normal in a certain county in Florida. And the property is 21 acres in an area where there's most of the properties are 1 acre. And it's got an old abandoned kind of, not abandoned, but it's neglected house that needs a lot of work. And so the seller would not tell us what they wanted to sell for. They said, I don't know, we don't know. We bought it a long time ago. We don't know what it's worth. And maybe they don't know what it's worth and they don't know what they would sell it for, but they want to sell it and they just want an offer. But here's the thing. We are not realtors. We're not we are investors, right? We're not a realtor going out and giving broker price opinions, BPOs. That's not our job. You can do that if you want, but for me, I'm not interested in being and doing BPOs. If they want to know what a property is worth, they should call an agent. Sometimes they call us investors to let them know what we think the property is worth. So on a weird kind of property that's maybe bigger than normal, you can't get comps on it, next to a highway, next to a solar farm, it's weird, it's kind of this narrow thing. You've got to get a number from the seller, and if not, you need to walk and just say, you know what, this probably isn't for me. If you want, I can give you the names and numbers of some realtors who might be able to help you. You got to get a number from them. It's always the goal to get the number first. Whoever gives the number first usually loses. And so sometimes investors, when you're hungry for a deal, I'm not saying this is you, David, but a lot of times investors, when they're hungry for deals, become a little bit more desperate. They become the motivated buyer. And that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to become a motivated buyer. You want to make them come to you and tell you why you should want to buy their house or their vacant lot. So many times we come into it backwards thinking, I need to convince them to sell their property to me. I need to smooth, what's the word? Them, and try to turn on my salesman skills and convince them to sell their property to me. No, no, no. It's the other way around. You need to play the role of the reluctant buyer. Mr. Seller, tell me why I would want to buy you. Why should I buy your property? And what do you think it's worth? So anyway, this lady who had this 20-acre property in this certain county in Florida, she wouldn't tell us. And then I told Matt, I said, listen, you just need to go back to her and push back and say, well, we're probably not interested. And then I started digging deeper. They had just bought it 3 years ago for $22,000 or something like that. Oh, she didn't tell us that. She told us she bought it a long time ago and they don't know what it's worth. So now we've got some number. We know what they bought it for 3 years ago. If they won't tell us the number, we could maybe say, well, would you sell it for what you bought it for? And then you're getting somewhere. Then they're going to say, no, no way, nah. All right, so what would you sell it for? And if they, again, I'm telling you guys, this will save you so much hassle. Usually these sellers, they do know what they would sell it for. They know they're not going to just give it away. They're not going to sell it for $1. They're not going to sell it for $1,000,000. So they do know a number out there. And if they won't give it to you, then you just need to be willing to walk and say, this is probably, when you figure it out, let me know. Call me back when you know what you want. Otherwise you're just chasing, yourself, and you're chasing your tail in circles and you're not going to get anywhere. And the seller is not motivated. You can only do deals with motivated sellers, and a motivated seller will tell you what the least they would take for that property is. And if they really, really won't, then you can go in and say something like, well, I'm looking at other properties here and I see that they've sold for this or that. Is that something you consider in that price range, and go from there. Now, this particular property, if the seller, I would start with maybe what the county says that the assessed value is. And I'd say, well, the county says that it's, I'm not sure what the difference between the full cash value or what the limited value is, if you can see that. Oh, you can't see my screen. I am sharing my screen. Okay. So I would maybe start with the limited value. I'd say, well, the county website says the limited value is 18,400. Would you consider something like that? Hmm. Ask them what they bought it for, what price did they buy it for, would they sell it for what they paid for it? The other thing I would do on this is I would probably use an option agreement. I wouldn't give them a contract. I would say, listen, I'd get a number from them, 20 grand. And I'd say, I don't know if I can buy it for 20, but I might be able to find somebody else who could buy it for 20. And if you're interested, I have an option agreement. I would give them a 6-month option agreement for $500, give them the option for you to buy it in 6 months. If you find somebody else who'd be interested in buying it. All right. The other thing is let's just look it up on Redfin. And so to do that, I'm just going to find the address of a property across the street. I'm going to find the address of this property right there. I'm just going to copy this and we're going to look it up in Redfin. Oops. Is that the property? That's not it, is it? Well, it's close. It's right up here, isn't it? I want to find the property on the center of the map. All right, so it's right in here. Yeah, see those two things right there? All right, so now it's in the center of my map on Redfin, right? And I'm going to go to for sale. I'm looking at all three of these things. I'm going to look at land only. And let's just look at lot size minimum 1 acre to 10 acres. And let's just see how many we have as I start zooming out. All right, now I got 33 properties between 1 and 10 acres. Let's do 1 to 5 acres. 26. I'm going to sort this from low to high. All we're trying to do here is try to get a feel for what the average price per acre is on active listings. Okay, now I'm going to use the Pebble Scraper tool. I'm just going to remove any big outliers. You know, maybe anything over 100 grand. There's 350 grand. Okay, so we've got here the median price per acre of 37,151. And I've got this little tool. If you go to simplelandkit.com, you have my offer calculator. Go to the second tab right here. And so this is a way you can calculate offers based on the price per acre. So the active price per acre, oops. Shoot, here we go. I don't know if you can see the pebble scraper or not. It's 37,151, okay? 37,151. And this property is 3.21 acres. And I discount it 15%, so maybe it's worth 101 based on active listings. And then I would now switch to solds in the last year. Not much there. Let's do the pebble scraper again. 36,000 an acre. So the property might be worth between 101 and 115. So, geez, I don't know. This might be the best comp because it's so close. 35 grand. 39 grand. This would probably be the comp that I'd go off of. And again, look at this. This is 4.29 acres. So I would do go to calculator. And we have here 39,000 divided by 4.29. That's 9,090 an acre. And then you multiply that by 3.21. So maybe I would sell my property for 29,000. I'm going to use this sold as my comp. You can look at this one too. 40,000. Oops. Divided by 2.23. 17,000 an acre. You know what? Let's if you're Deals with Joe student, you have access to my automated offer pro software, don't you? All right, so let me open that up for you and I'm going to show you what I would do here. Let me log into my thing. Land offers, hold on. Land offers, publish. Okay. So if you are Deals with Joe student, go to dealswithjoe.com. You should see this thing, right? This is my simple land offer software. Click on next. If you have a letter reference ID or an APN parcel number, you can put that information in here. Put the seller's name, put their mailing address. Put their property address. The state. Zip. County. Maricopa County, I think. Acres, 3.21. Realtor name. Okay, next. Now this is where you're going to, it comes up with, helps you come up with offers three different ways: with active comps, with sold comps, and based on your minimum wholesale profit of a list price, okay? And this is where you're now going to look at, let's look at some active comps here. Instead of using that pebble scraper tool, what I've just did is I'm going to filter out a little, I'm going to filter out the little 1 acres. I'm going to say, give me the 2 to 5 acre properties. And I'm going to zoom out some more. Now I have 92 of them. I'm sorting from low to high. And I'm looking at, let's look at actives for sale first. All right, I have 102, too many. I'm going to zoom in. Now I have 4, not enough. So I'm going to zoom out. Okay. And I'm sorting from low to high. So the first one is 14,950, 5 acres. Let me bring this over here. 14,950. 14,950 for 5 acres. The next one is 21,004.62. The next one, 45,000, 2.5. The next one is 45,000, 2.5. $50,000, 4.26. All right, so that gives me an average price per acre of just those 5 of 11,054. And I usually discount active listings by 15%, and I'm going to offer, let's just say I'm offering 35%. So the value is maybe worth 30 grand. I'm going to offer 10,500. Now let's look at sold comps, okay? On Redfin, I'm going to switch to solds. Let's go the last year because I want all the cheapest ones. And let's go down through this. 18,000, 5 acre. 20,000, 4.17. 25,005. 30,000, 3.75. 30,000, 3.75. Oops. So you can do as many as you want. Now we have an average of 5,000 879 an acre, and I'm doing 35%. Okay, so now I have value based on sold comps of 18 grand, offer 6 grand. So now I'm thinking, all right, what am I going to? I have two different values. 30,000 based on the cheapest active per acres, the cheapest sold per acres. Does that make sense? Value based on solds of 18,000. So now, okay, what am I going to list it for? And this is where you kind of, there's no science behind this. You're just thinking, all right, if I'm going to list this property, put myself in the mind of the buyer, what am I going to list this property for? Now I'm looking at for sale, active, under contract, pending, and all of that. Man, look at, here's a property, 4.62 acres for 21 grand. This one's 5 acres, no picture, but 14.9. I'm just going to sell mine for 20. I want to market it 19,950. Okay. So I want to make at least a minimum of $10,000 wholesale fee. I'm going to pay a realtor 10% commissions. I'm going to pay maybe 1,500 in closing costs. I might have, $1,000 for photography and miscellaneous stuff. So my offer based on minimum profit, if I'm going to make 10 grand on this deal, my offer needs to be 54.55. So now I look at this, and this is where I choose what I want to do. The value based on active comps maybe is 30 grand. Based on sold comps is 18. I'm going to list it for 19,950. So based on active comps, my offer is 10,500. Sold comps 6,600. Based on minimum profit 5,000. So I'm going to offer 5455. I can go in and see if there's any back taxes owed. Let's say there's not. I'm going to give the seller an expiration date of my offer for like February 16th. Let's do February 9th. And this is where you could offer maybe some seller financing if you wanted to. So if my cash offer is 5,400, maybe I offer seller financing at 8,100. I could do something like that. 10% down, 4% interest over 5 years. So I'll make them principal and interest payments of 135 maybe. It's just an option. Submit. Now, what it does is it gives me a 2-option letter of intent, a cash offer with a contract, and an email I could send to a realtor. So let's look at these real quick, and I'll open them up so you can see them. And give me a minute because it takes Microsoft Word forever to open up on an Apple computer. Okay, so here is a 2-option letter of intent. It says, hey, this is for your 3.2 acre property. Dear this is where you put the seller's name. Following up on our conversation about your 3.2 acre vacant lot in XYZ city county. Here are 2 different options. I could offer you 5,400 cash, close in, I would say 3 months. I'll pay any all closing costs. I'll pay any realtor commissions owed, etc. Or you can do seller financing. I'll pay you 818 bucks down payment, 4% interest, 5 years. I'll pay you 135.62 per month for 5 years. Call me if you're interested. That's just a simple 1-page thing. You could take that, copy it, and paste it in an email, send it to the seller, whatever you wanted. There's also this, here's the cash offer. So this is a cover letter, basically says, hey, we want to buy your property. We can pay you this, 5,400. And this is how you can return the contract to us. And here's our 1-page contract. It's a 1-page contract for 54.55. That's what I would offer on this property, David. And I would make sure the seller understands I have 3 months. I have 90 days to close. And I might not close if I can't find a buyer to sell my deal to. You could also do what's called an option agreement. Okay. And in my course, if you have my land course, you can find option agreements online for free. It basically says, well, this is really big. Hold on a second here. There we go. Basically says, hey, I have the option to buy your property for this certain price. And for the consideration for that option, I'm going to give them a consideration of $100 or $500. Usually it's 6 months. You could do 12 months if you wanted, and give them an option. It's a one-page option. You could do something like that. And this also, I added language in here once. So, hey, if the optioner, that's the seller, finds another buyer before the expiration of this option agreement, the optioner must give the optionee, that's me, the right of first refusal to purchase the property at a better price for a period of 72 hours. Optioner shall contact the optionee by phone and email at this number. Does that make sense? Uh, so, it's kind of a flexible option if they find somebody else to buy it. So you could do something like that. But this is such a weird property. I would be very cautious about actually closing on it. I'd only buy it if and when you found another buyer you could sell that deal to or sign the deal to. Carlin has a question. Hey, Joe, I'm in Illinois. Can I do sandwich lease options with an agent instead of getting my license? Or is there another way around it? No, you don't need a realtor to do sandwich lease options. Now, there is a law that says you can't do wholesaling in Illinois without a license, but you're not wholesaling. With a sandwich lease option, you're finding a seller, you're leasing the property from that seller with the option to buy it, and you're staying in the middle and you're subleasing it out to somebody else, and you're going to stay in the middle the whole time. That's a sandwich lease option. So you don't need a realtor to do that. Now, sometimes it helps to have a realtor. And if it's, should you get your license or should you hire realtors? I would say you hire realtors. You don't need to, you don't need your license. If you wanted to, yeah. But if I was doing a sandwich lease option, I would hire not a realtor, but I'd hire a leasing agent to help me find a tenant. Now, a leasing agent is going to be a realtor, typically, right? Um, okay. Let me see if there's any questions that you guys submitted in the Facebooks. Facebook or Zoom chat. Oh, what's up, Jacob? How you doing? JR Cal, Medical Weight Loss, St. Louis. Hey. Brian is asking, hey, I jumped in late. What's the form or software you used to do this? I'm not sure, Brian. What are you talking about? Sergio was asking, if you're asking what I'm using Zoom, um, that's what I'm using. And if you, my software for that, for creating the offer was my land offer generator software. And you can get that at dealswithjoe.com. Sergio is asking, is that type of lease the same as a wrap? Kinda, but it's simpler. I think I'm not creating a new mortgage that wraps around the old mortgage. I'm creating maybe a new lease that wraps around the existing lease. But on a sandwich lease option, I'm not taking over the mortgage. I'm leasing the property from the seller with the option to buy it in the future. And I'm staying in the middle. That's why it's called a sandwich lease option. And then I'm turning around and leasing it out as a lease option to a tenant buyer. So I have an option to buy it at let's say 100 grand and 800 a month. I'm gonna turn around and sell it for 120 grand and 1,000 a month. So I'm getting some cash flow of a couple hundred a month every month. And I'm at the end, if and when my tenant buyer buys the property for 120, I'm buying it for 100. I'm selling it for 120. My profit is 20 grand on the back end. Now that's a sandwich lease option. Some people prefer to do subject to, where you take title to the property. On a sandwich lease option, you don't take title to the property. Makes sense. Um, Question from Todd. This is a good one. Why do most people fail as a land flipper? I don't see how a person could not succeed. Are they just not sending offers? What a great question. Why do most people fail as a land flipper? I don't see how a person could not succeed. Are they just not sending offers? I'm curious, what do you guys think? Type in the comments, whether you're on Zoom or Facebook or YouTube. I think Todd nailed it. People are not succeeding with land because they're not making offers. It's the same with houses, vacant land, whether you're doing subject to or lease options or anything. The reason why people don't succeed in this business is they just don't take it seriously enough, I think. They just don't want it bad enough. Now, you could say, well, Joe, the real reason is they don't believe that it can work. Because if they really believed that it could work, they would be out there and making a bunch of offers. Well, I don't know. By the way, sorry for the camera and the light. I opened my window over here. There's a ton of sun shining in. So my lighting is all screwed up. But they just, here's the deal. Your speed to income in this business is directly proportional to the number of offers that you make. So if you want to make money, you got to do deals. And if you want to do deals, you've got to make offers. And if you want to make offers, you need to have leads. You need to talk to sellers. And if you want to talk to sellers, you got to do marketing. So usually comes down to all of that. And then if you do marketing, you got to believe, if you're willing to put your money where your mouth is, you've got to believe that this actually works, right? And so if somebody's struggling with this business and not doing deals, it really comes back to that first thing. They just don't believe that it works. Because if they really did believe that it would work, they would do the marketing. If they didn't have the money for the marketing, they would find another way to get leads. They would start calling realtors. They would start calling other investors with old leads and saying, hey, can I follow up with your old leads? They would start calling FSBOs. They would start cold calling expired listings. They would get on the phone and they would talk to 20 people every day. Because here's the numbers. If you can make 2 offers a day, that's 10 offers a week, 40 offers a month, right? After 3 months, you've made 120 offers. I can almost guarantee you will eventually do a deal if you make enough offers. It's just a numbers game. So how bad do you want it? If you really wanted it and you could not afford to do marketing, you would find a way to make 2 offers a day. Does that make sense? Let me show you what I mean, because this is so good. The number one reason why people don't succeed in this business is they just are not making enough offers. And why aren't they doing that? Well, because maybe they're busy. Usually it's because, man, I don't know if this really is going to work. Because before I invest all this money and time into doing the marketing, getting the leads, talking to sellers, making offers, like I don't want to do all of that and waste my time if it doesn't work. So first of all, you've got to believe that it works and that it will work for you. That's why I love doing these videos, doing podcasts, and interviewing other people that are doing real estate today, because it just kind of helps my faith meter get built back up that this actually does work. If that idiot can do it, then I can do it, right? So you gotta, fill yourself up with positive things of like hearing stories of people actually doing deals. And then you got to say, all right, if he can do it, she can do it, then I can do it. That's what my brain thinks. So now, okay, I believe I can do it. Now what? You've got to make offers. Got to make offers. So let's say, Joe, you teach to do a bunch of direct mail and I can't afford to do a bunch of direct mail. Or I don't want to spend $2,000 a month doing direct mail, because what if it doesn't work? Well, it's a circle, right? But let's say you don't have the money to do direct mail right now. What would you do then? Well, let me share with you what I would do. If I really wanted to do this, if you kidnapped me from my family and you didn't take me to the Bahamas, you took me to North Dakota and said, Joe, you can't go home until you make at least $5,000 doing a deal. and you don't have any money, what would you do? Okay. This is what I would do. And you know what? I would do it. Like I would find a way to make 20 offers a day because like I want to go home get my family. I don't want to be in North Dakota for no offense to people from North Dakota. It's beautiful, but like I don't want to be up there for 6 months until I want to do a deal. I'm going to do a deal in a couple weeks, 1 or 2. I'm going to make 20 offers a day. I'm going to do whatever it takes. So you've got to have that kind of mentality. And you know what? Before I even show you, I'm going to show you how to, if you don't have any money for marketing, what I would do today to go out and start making offers, because your speed to income is directly proportional to the number of offers that you make, right? There's nothing else about it. So if you believe that you can do it, if you believe that it works and that it works for you, if you know, it's 75, 85% mental first. So once you figure that out and you believe, all right, this will work, now you need to actually go out and do it. You need to go out and start making offers. Your speed to income is directly proportional to the number of offers that you make. You've got to start making offers every single day, no matter what. And I'm going to show you how to make offers at 2 a.m. in the morning. You don't have to worry about waking people up, but you just got to start making offers. So there's this guy named Frank Kern. And you know what? Can I just share it with you? And it's got some bad language in it, but I'm going to find this video and share it with you. And if you have kids, maybe, you know, take them to what for a nap or something. Frank Kern. There's 2 main commandments. Okay, this is the 3-minute and 46-second video. Okay, and I'm going to share this. Hopefully I don't have ads that come up or whatnot. I'm going to share this with you guys, and I want you to watch it and pay attention.
The keys to being successful online are very, very simple. Actually, there are 2 commandments I have on how to be successful online. The first commandment is thou shalt not fuck around. The second.
Okay, now he's talking about online business, internet marketing stuff, but it applies to real estate. Okay, the first commandment is, I'll rewind it a little bit.
Commandments I have on how to be successful online. The first commandment is thou shalt not fuck around. The second commandment is thou shalt not be a pussy. And I'll explain. And really, I think if you obey these 2 commandments, then you'll be fine. So we'll start with thou shalt not fuck around. Most people spend a lot of time reading forums, buying products and never doing anything. They're fucking around, I'll survey customers in my business. I've surveyed customers in clients' business that are in the same industry, and we'll say, well, how many of you have a website now? And 70% of them say, I have no website, I have no business, I have no product, even though they've bought everything. All right, well, clearly they're fucking around because it says so right in every single thing they bought. Here's how you get a website. And furthermore, if you want to know how to build a website, go to YouTube. So I think that people fuck around because there's no sense of urgency. So I say, well, listen, I want you to imagine this. Imagine that Osama bin Laden had a machine gun pointed at your family, and he said, you got 24 hours to build a website that can collect an email address, or I'm pulling the fucking trigger. I know they would figure out how to build a website, and they wouldn't go to a forum saying, now, which course should I buy that shows me how to build a website? Is this guy a scam? What kind of website should they build? They go to YouTube or something, type in how to build a website, pick one from one of the 30-something thousand freely available tutorials, and build the damn site. And when the site didn't come out perfect, they go back to it and they build, like, let's say the table wasn't looking right or the font wasn't right. They go back to YouTube or Google and say how to make font look right. And then, by 20 hours, they'd have the damn thing up and they'd say, okay, Osama, I got the website. And we go, okay, good, thank you, see you later. And that'd be the problem solved. So they're just fucking around. If you don't fuck around, you'll be successful. Get to work. The second of the commandments is thou shalt not be a pussy is this. They say, well, what if it doesn't work, I'm perfectly willing to go into enormous debt to attend seminar after seminar after seminar and to buy product after product after product and get all of this education, but I'm terrified to spend $100 on a Google AdWords campaign to try to launch a product off the ground, to try to test a market and everything. They're just being pussies. They're afraid of that failure. So if you can accept the truth that you're going to fail about 98% of the time, but the 2% of the time that you don't fail, you're probably going to hit these massive oil wells that can reward you for the rest of your life, you'll be okay. But if you're just going to be a little pussy about everything and not get to work and not get started and get that temporary like crack cocaine high from buying the product that makes you feel like you're doing something, and then that wears off and you buy the next thing. If you're going to do that instead of actually getting to work and doing something, then you're screwed. You know, so the secret to internet success is, you know, get to work, don't fuck around, don't be a pussy. And when you get knocked down, get back up, because you're going to get knocked down, period. It's like talking to a guy who's going to be a boxer. You know, now listen, with the guy's like, oh, I want to be a champion boxer. I'm not going to get hit, am I? Oh, no, dude, you're going to be fine. You're not going to get hit. The guy gets hit one time. I don't want to be a boxer anymore. Of course, he's never going to make it as a boxer. He's got to know, yeah, you're going to get the shit beat out of you, you know, a lot. And then sometimes you're going to win, and when you win, you get to be on TV. It's going to be great. You know, Nike's going to call you, and you can have a boxing shoe or something. You know, maybe Kern will do the ad campaign for you and tell America that they'll be beautiful if they wear your boxing shoe. It'll sell millions. You're going to be fine, but you're going to get your ass beat a lot. You know, that's the trick to it all.
Okay, so I apologize again for the language, but isn't he right? Can you guys see kind of what I'm talking about here? So I'm looking at your comments here from YouTube. Killer Money, thanks for your videos. I've learned a lot from them. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You've got to send offers. How many offers would you suggest sending every day? 5? At 2 at least. Killer Money says, hey, I started with houses. I'm looking to do I'm looking to do land. Awesome, Killer. Leads equals offers equals deals. Okay. Some of you guys are confirming and agreeing with this. Yeah, please show me how this is me. Lack of confidence, shiny object syndrome. You're not wrong, but I'm trying to get there. Yay. All right. So listen, you guys, I want you to know that, you know, I'm not trying to beat you up, but you're not alone. If you want to make money in this business, you need to make offers. I mean, like I thought about writing a book about that, but it would be really, really short. It'd be like one or 2 pages. So you got to stop farting around. You need to stop being a sissy. That's Joe PG version of what Frank was just saying in that video. Stop farting around and stop being so afraid to spend some money on marketing. But if you don't have the money on marketing, then let me show you what to do. All right. I'm going to share my screen again here. And walk you through what I got. By the way, I can see all your comments right here, guys. I love seeing your video, your comments right here on YouTube and Facebook. Sometimes I see comments here on LinkedIn and Twitter or X, whatever. Okay, so somebody give me a county. Somebody give me a county. Type it in YouTube or Facebook or Zoom. I'm looking at your comments here. Give me a county. Any county. Give me a state. I'm going to show you how you can start making offers. Lee County. Okay, somebody said Lee County. I think that's Florida. Lee County, Florida. I'm at homes.com. Okay. Homes.com. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to home type. Let's just look at land because I like land right now. And I don't want these expensive properties on the water. Although, look at this. Maybe it's not a bad idea. Oh, it's not on the water. It's behind these houses. Okay. Let's look at land. And then I'm going to all filters here. And what I'm doing is I'm looking for properties that have been on the market over 90 days that have had a price reduction in the last 30 days. And I'm going to go down to right here, price reduction in the last 30 days and have been on the market more than 3 months. Just like that in this one county right here. And if I clear out of that county, now I have 401. Now I don't want to mess with these real expensive ones. So let's do max price 150 grand. And let's do minimum. Well, let's not worry about minimum. Okay, so now, and let me zoom out again. In these areas, I have 467 properties. And let's sort this by newest. So these are the newest properties that just hit the 90-day mark and have had their price reduced in the last 30 days. So maybe the seller might be getting a little motivated and wanting to sell these things. Okay. I have 467 properties here. And now if you open up one of them, sorry, I got a stuffy nose. Here's the address of the property. Here's the owner. I mean, here's the listing agent. Sorry, Crystal Fowler. There's a phone number and there's an email address. And sometimes you have two different phone numbers, one right there and one right here. Been on the market 89 days. Scroll down and you get some more information about the property and the realtor. You can see the price history here. And they keep on dropping their price $1,000 since October. Every month they actually been dropping it like clockwork, $1,000. Sometimes you can see the sale history. You know, you can see if an investor bought it recently and they're just trying to wholesale it. It doesn't matter to me. I would still make them an offer, even if a wholesaler is trying to sell it. Oh, so they did a quick claim deed for $100 in May of 23. All right. So then if you keep on scrolling, sometimes if you can't see the information about the realtor up above, you can get it down here. All right. Now, what do? You call this realtor up. You say, hey, Crystal, my name is Joe. I'm calling about this little 10,000 square foot lot you have in Punta Gorda, Florida for 13 grand. Can you tell me a little bit about it? Now, one of the things I like to do is I like to do this in Redfin. I'm going to copy the address. I'm going to go to Redfin. I'm going to put that property in Redfin here. So it takes me to that property. I'm going to click on this map. I'm going to click on nearby homes for sale because I like the way Redfin does comps better. I'm going to look here. While I'm talking to the agent, I'm going to click on for sale, these three check boxes. I'm going to look at home type, land only, and I'm going to sort from low to high. All right. Now I'm going to set maybe a land filter here. This property is 10,000 square feet. So I'm going to do 8,000 to 0.25 acres. All right. It says 170, but there's not. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Now there's 10. All right. Here's 10 properties in this area. My property's right in the center of this map. Boom. Look at what I've just found here. Here's a 0.23 acre lot that's bigger. 0.23 times 43,560. That's 10,020 square feet. Okay, so I'm talking to this realtor. Hi, my name is Joe. I'm calling about this property. I'm an investor and I'm looking to buy. One of the things I do is I buy land and I sell it with owner financing. And I see that you have this property listed for sale for 13 grand right now. And I just wanted to know if I could ask you some questions about this. I'm interested. I'd like to make an offer, but I want to know how negotiable the seller is on their price. By the way, I'm going through this fast. By the way, I don't have an agent representing me right now. So if you wanted to represent me, you could get both sides of the commission. And and you can double dip the commissions. I don't know if your broker allows you to do that. Also, if you find any other off-market properties for me, I'm always looking to buy deals. I'll pay you 10% commissions on any other vacant lot that you can bring me. That's off-market, discounted. All right. So I'm going to ask your questions. Tell me about this property. It looks like a nice area. It's a great market. Why hasn't it sold yet? Okay. Start talking to them. I'm pulling it up on Redfin. I'm sorting this from low to high. So, oh, okay. Well, I see. Yeah, shoot. You know, I see that it was listed for 13,000, but I found two other properties here that are bigger that are currently for sale right now for $10,000. Do you feel like 13? I don't know the area as well as you do. Do you feel like 13,000 is a fair price for this kind of crazy market right now? You know, I don't know. Let's see what the realtor says. Then I'm going to switch right here to solds and I'm going to go to the last year. And I want to see as many as I can. So I'm going to zoom out. Oh, look what I got now. Wow. Okay. 13 grand. So they might be negotiable a little bit. Okay. Well, shoot. You know, I'm looking here at recent solds in the area and I see some that have sold for $5,700 and $6,000 and $7,000. They wouldn't be interested in something in this price range, would they? Okay. I'm trying to get the realtor on the phone, talking to them about, I'd like to make an offer, but I'm probably going to need to be in this price range. So the realtor says, you know, usually it's like, oh, I don't know, you know, just go ahead and I'll make them an offer. I'll send it. Then they'll probably say no. I say, all right, you know what? Let me just do this. Let me look at I have your email right here. Is it crystal at endlesssummerliving.com? Okay. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and send you an email. Let me look at some numbers and maybe, I'll send you something. And if you can you don't have to write up a contract, just call the seller, ask them if they would consider something like this. And if they would, then maybe you can write it up. You can represent me, get both sides of the commission. And by the way, I'll also pay you on the commissions when I sell it if you want to help me list it, because I sell properties with owner financing, and I've told you that before. Um, and they say, okay, great, that's fine. I say, also, I'm looking for more properties in the area that are maybe off market properties that I can, I can buy for real cheap. So I pay 10% commissions if you can find anything for me. All right. So now what am I doing? I'm just making an offer to this seller. So maybe I'll offer them for cash, $5,000. Maybe I'll offer, $7,500 if they do owner financing. Just go to a calculator and do 7,500 divided by 5 divided by 12. Tell them you'll pay them 125 a month until paid. Maybe $100 a month. So like I could ask the realtor, like, Crystal, if they won't take my cash offer for, maybe 5 or 6,000 bucks, would they consider something a little higher? Maybe if they take it with payments with seller financing over time, open the opportunity there to maybe buy the property for a little bit more, but with owner financing with payments over time. Does it make sense what I'm saying there? So here's the deal. I'm coming back full circle. If you could not afford, the reason why people aren't successful and why they aren't doing deals, they're not making enough offers. Why aren't they making enough offers? Because they don't have enough leads. Why are they not getting enough leads? Because they don't believe, they're not doing enough marketing. Why aren't they doing enough marketing? Because they really don't believe that this business works and that it'll work for them. So number one is like I showed you in that video, stop farting around and stop being such a big sissy and just get out there and do the work and make it happen. Okay. So your goal is to make 2 offers a day, and you don't have any excuses why you can't. I just showed you a free way. How much does it cost to go to homes.com, find properties that have been on the market over 3 months that just had a price reduction, and get out there and start calling realtors. Okay. The other thing you could do, let me share my screen again. Sorry. All right. You've got this property right here. Let me just Google that, search that address and go to PropWire. Have you ever heard of PropWire? It's Jerry Norton's got this software. It's free. Skip tracing does cost a little bit of money, but put that address in here and see if it comes up. All right. Now go to owner, and you can see it's owned by Desiree with something. And how long has she owned it? I don't know. Sometimes it tells you history. And you can skip trace this owner right here. If you click on skip trace, it'll pull up her number, and you could call the owner directly. Now, I'm not saying you need to bypass the realtor and try to get them to cancel the listing agreement. Oh, here's history right here. So intra-family transfer. So maybe it was divorce or something like that. Call the seller directly and ask them if they would consider selling it for $5,000, or would they consider maybe seller financing or something like that. Okay. But now if they say, yeah, sure, then you work with the realtor. You don't want to kick the realtor out of the deal. But with it costs 10 cents to skip trace. You could skip trace the owner. The other thing I was going to show you is you could also go in here, and there's keyword searches sometimes. And I don't see a keyword search here in homes.com. All right, so what you could do, let me just try it here. Motivated. No. Okay, if you go to Redfin and you go, let's go back to Lee County, Florida. Come on, Lee County, Florida. for sale. Cool. Home type, land. All filters. I'm going to scroll all the way down to keyword search right here and type in the word motivated. There's 89 properties with the word motivated in them. Let's look at this one that just came up, 19 grand. Motivated seller, quick closing. All right, so where's the real this now sometimes you get the phone number, which is cool, sometimes you don't. And you get their email. It's nice. Sometimes you don't get that in Redfin. That's why I like to go to homes.com because it gives me that information. Sometimes you get it here. So I would just call the agent. And while you're on the phone, click this map right here, find other similar properties. Okay. You can also sort this by newest. So the newest ones are here, but then scroll down, go all the way down, go to page 3, go to the last page. These are the oldest listings. And like click on this one. This has been for sale for 900 days. And motivated seller. So I would call the realtor and ask them. It's been on the market 900 days. Let's see, how many years is that? 3 years almost. Like, are they really that motivated? And this one, you probably wouldn't even be able to get a hold of the realtor. So I would skip trace and find the owner. And I would call. Let's just copy this and go to PropWire. So this property was purchased in January 2013. The owner is something out of Naples. You could skip trace even LLCs. Now they own a bunch of properties, so it's just probably been sitting out there with 100 other ones. So anyway, maybe send the owner of the property a letter or something like that. But here, my point in showing you all this is I'm taking away your excuses for not making offers. So get out there, start making offers. Okay? Start making offers. Because if you make 2 offers a day, you're going to do deals. All right. And let's say, that deal you call the realtor, it doesn't work out. The point of it is you're going to follow up now. So every 30 days, you're going to follow up with that realtor with 2 things. Number 1, hey, that property over there in Punta Gorda, has it sold yet? I'm just curious. Is it still available? Can I try again to make an offer on it? Or, hey, do you have any other off-market properties? Do you have any other properties that I can make offers on that are off-market? I'll pay you 10% commissions. Let me know if you ever find anything. I have here story after story of people. That's all the marketing they do is they network with realtors. They go and they find the top producing agents that sell the most houses and ask them, hey, what do you do when you get a vacant land listing? Do you sell it? If I gave you my name and number, would you just call me next time you find somebody that has a vacant lot they want to sell? And will you just let me make an offer on it? I'll pay you 10% commissions on whatever. So like now you're getting somewhere, right? And I would say an offer, even if it's just emailing the realtor a number, that's an offer. If it's and now you've got a bunch of database, you got a database of 100 realtors that you've talked to, and you're following up with them every 30 days. 2 months later, now you've got 200 realtors. 3 months later, you've got 300 realtors, and you just start following up. You will do deals. All right, let's go. I wrap this up. Appreciate you guys. We'll see y'all later.